Hi there, the aim of this video is to give you more variety when you're looking for gestures during your presentations. There are basically 5 families of gesture that you can visit, so let's take a quick look at each of those families. The first one is quantitative. To quantify things, great place to go is hands and arms parallel. Yesterday, when all my troubles seemed so far away, today, tomorrow. You can sort of imagine a timeline as well throughout the week or throughout the year, January, February, March, April, May. Remember to invert your gestures. The future for your public goes in the opposite direction. It's the mirror effect. We can also quantify like this. We still have some margin. Or quite simply, the hands can be parallel to the floor, small, medium, tall. For example, 37% of our clients, the feedback is quite clear, are not happy with this particular aspect of our new project. And then when you finish the gesture, hands down to waist level. Micro movements, don't just leave them there. Try not to close. It's not, you can do this, but it is sort of barrier between yourself and the public. So there we have when you need to quantify things, quantitative. Next family, Deictic, as its name suggests, anything to do with the fingers. 3 kinds of Deictic: counters, pointers, and pinching the air for precision. Let's jump into my presentation in 3 parts. Firstly, not too horizontal, make sure they can see it. So I'm bringing it down firstly, secondly, and finally. Pointers, you're absolutely right, great to isolate somebody. You've got to be very careful when somebody disagrees, for example, or asks a nasty question. It can be perceived as being aggressive. You disagree with everything I've been saying since the beginning of the presentation. And you may get into a fight. So to soften that, what I do is I suggest that you smile. You disagree with everything I've been saying since the beginning of the presentation. And then you can turn it over, you disagree. Just bear in mind your partner's in a game, not enemies in a duel. You're not there fighting battles. Your mission is to get this message across and make sure that they understand the subject matter of your presentation. Then we've got pinching the air, great for precision. We cannot change a word on this contract. There's a very important detail I'd like you to remember. Now let's just take a look at that with no gestures. There's a very important detail here that I'd like you to remember. It's just not the same impact. So you see the gestures, these are illustrative gestures that are really going to increase your visual impact. So they're getting the word and they're getting this visual picture that you're creating with your body language. Next we've got pictograph, very close to Deictic. Pictograph, which quite simply means the index fingers become paintbrushes. And everybody can see the triangle. Now the pictograph, Deictic pictograph, helps me to reduce often the number of slides, because you can go as far as we started the treatment in January, everything went well until the month of March, and then a plateau. You can see that I'm using different families of gesture. I'm going from Deictic here to quantitative, so you can mix and match the different families of gesture. So Deictic, pictograph, to draw pictures in the air. We're here, the competition is here, we need to, and once again I'm going from Deictic to quantitative. The next family of gesture, really important if you want to convince people, I've just done it at this instant, is putting the body behind your words. It's called Kinetograph. Kinetograph, kinetics, movement. I really need you to do this. And the people, wow, he does, because he's putting his body behind his words. And you can have more amplitude. You're not just making this quantitative gesture, you are becoming bigger with the body language. Kinetograph, great for movement as well. I was in the metro this morning. You can do this movement with the body, taking that metro forward for the public. Always with that mirror effect. So kinetograph, to convince. The last family is Idiograph. It's an abstract family of gesture. I have this idea. It's not really defining anything. It's perhaps the family that I go to the least, but it's doing an illustration of looking for an idea, for example. Idiograph is something very cerebral. It's something that's inside, that's in here. So you've got 5 families of gesture. Let's have a quick last look at the 5. Lots to work on there. Great place to practice is in front of the mirror. When you finish the gestures, hands down to waist level. Don't make the gesture too rapid. Remember, you need to imagine that your hands or arms are in water. Take your time with the gesture, and when you finish the gesture, you don't have to pull it away immediately. You know, those hands and arms in water, bring them down casually to waist level. I'm going to leave you there, lots to work on, and I'll be back shortly with the next video. Thanks again for being with me. Take care.